particular point. And now, of course, once again, I'll move from the left side to the right side, and we'll take a look at all of its properties just once. At the very top, we have the name of the frame appearing. We can also edit the name of that frame right from here to edit the frame's name directly here. You can also edit inside Canva, and then here we from here we can change it either on the frame or the group scene as see or the window decision. Then again, we have various listed resolutions available to us. Say for example, if I want to convert this frame to an iPhone resolution, I've already created and checked it from here. And let me show you. Okay, I'll just go back to the selection tool for a moment. Okay. So here we can actually set up different things for naming. Of course, we need to do it at this particular point and also at this other point. And I was assuming that at this point it would also be done, but of course at this point we can just select all the resolutions, and renaming of course happens happens in Canva, and also in the canvas the canvas that is available there. We can directly rename the frame, and then we can do it within the hierarchy too. Here the option that we have available, again, this is an option that is specifically related to dev mode, which we are able to toggle. And by the way, we can actually toggle this for the entire frame. If I come over to the selection tool, then of course it will be on this. When I go ahead and activate this, you'll see that an icon becomes clearly visible to us. And what this essentially signifies is that this particular frame is now fully prepared for our developers to begin their design work. This is a ready to design component for them. There are no modifications or changes required for this. I will go ahead and remove this. And usually an icon is also sometimes visible to us right here. And that similar icon, which we can also select and tick from this very spot. And then we can confirm it to mark it as dev. Okay, so the next feature we'll discuss is create component. For instance, if we have a specific shape or perhaps a frame, and our intention is to transform it into a reusable component, then we certainly have the ability to create it. We will also delve into this particular aspect later on, specifically when we are covering the dedicated section on components. So we will revisit and explore this point in detail at that time. Next, we now we have a mask, and we utilize this mask in such a way that we can target a specific portion. For example, I'll select the rectangle tool from here, and then I'll draw a frame, a rectangle right here, and then by pressing R again, I'll pick up another rectangle tool. We'll go ahead and change its color perhaps to something like this one here. And for instance, here what I'm aiming to do is take this particular portion from the two shapes that we currently have, and I specifically want to mask out this section, ensuring that only its visibility is maintained for us. Once these are selected, I'll click on the mask. The matching section, which is essentially their union point, will then be masked out, and only that specific area will become visible. And this is how we can effectively utilize the mask feature. In our hierarchy, its visibility will also appear in a similar manner. And then I will undo this. Next, what we have, if we look at it for now, the next was on the rectangle frame tool. This was up to this point, but if we select the rectangle, then among these options we will see this particular option. Finally, of course, we will have the edit option available, which we can also perform by pressing enter, just as I had explained to you last time. So I will close this window now. This particular option was for editing. And then when we proceed to check by selecting both of these items, even if only the first one has been selected, we will then see another option appear, which is labeled union for us. However, the union operation is one of the available options. So we have several different options here, similar to how we performed the mask out operation earlier. For instance, if we intend to combine these shapes using the union function, we'll click on union and they will merge into one. And for the time being, if we navigate to the intersection, you'll see these shapes are still distinct. This isn't working in the same way as the destructive shapes we created. This is just a union of shapes. And if you look at the outermost section, it's a union of two shapes. Similarly, I will undo this. Up until now, this wasn't part of the union, and apart from the union operation, we can also perform a subtraction. So from this particular shape, that other shape will be subtracted, and this specific portion was what remained for us. Then similarly, their intersection was precisely at this point, and at that very same point, the visibility will remain exactly the same. I will undo it, of course. Then what happens is it excludes, and it has excluded the entire intersecting point, and the remaining portion is now visible. And lastly, we have the flatten option. And with flatten, what happens is we have some, for example, I will select both of these shapes and then create their union. And if we look right now, we have two separate shapes. And for example, I want these shapes to be combined into a single point, so that they merge into the shape and no longer remain as part of a single group. Therefore, I will proceed to click on the flatten option. and now this shape is no longer part of that single group. It has become a destructive shape. This is precisely how we utilize the flatten function.